How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a fantastic evening. We're going to have fun tonight. This episode's going to be pretty relaxed. Basically, in about an hour, I'm probably going to pop on to Rick's channel on Departure Heaven. I thought I would just come on here for a little bit, see how you guys are doing. Nothing too deep. We're not going to go deep tonight. Just going to see how you guys are doing. And then see if you have any questions or anything like that, anything that you would like to talk about on this channel. All right. Yeah, it was fun last night. Last night was terrific. It was fun having Lee Brainerd on. Aaron was on the show. Who else did we have? Joshua. And who else? Oh, and Bubba News. That was pretty fun. Pretty fun having Bubba News on. I'd never met the guy before, but Josh suggested I have him on, so we brought him on. So basically, this is just basically a nice little get-together. If you guys have eggnog or whatever, this is the time to crack it open, have some eggnog tonight, relax a little bit. We're not going to go very long, but I just wanted to say hi to you guys, you know. Christmas is going to be here. Tomorrow night, I won't be doing anything. What's today? Oh, I just remembered something that I forgot. Holy smokes. How did that even happen? Let me just see. It was so weird. I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I had something to do today. And then I completely forgot about it. I was out shopping. Let's see here. Due to conflict. So I think, what's today? Let me just see here. I think I actually missed a recording that I was going to do with Uptime. Yikes. Yes, we do Boxing Day, but it's basically, we just chill with the family. So tomorrow, go to church. We have 3 services at our church. And then we will be hanging out. I think it's actually going to be just my wife and myself tomorrow night. And then on Christmas Day, my daughter and her boyfriend are going to hang out. And then we're going to see my son. We're going to go to Fernie on the weekend and hang out with him. And that should be pretty fun. And then also, I think in January sometime, we're going to go visit my daughter in Phoenix. And my goal is to try and take a King James tour, because there's like a King James museum that Robert Breaker went to. And it's the funny thing is I was in Phoenix in October, and on my last day when we were flying back, I found this museum. And then a few days later, wouldn't you know it, Robert Breaker was there. So I'm to see if I can book a tour to tour the King James Bible Museum all day in Phoenix. That should be pretty fun. Yeah, I was at Costco. I was looking for a last minute gift for my wife, and I went to 2 different areas and couldn't find it. So we're actually going to be ordering it online. How sucky is that? So I've been spending too much time on YouTube, But we also have our anniversary on Sunday, so I'm also prepping for that as well. So, but lots of stuff going on over Christmas with family, which is good. I hope you guys are doing the same thing. I know it's been a crazy year. We talked about it a little bit last night, talked about some potential Black Swan events. Crazy stuff, man. This, like, America is crazy. You guys have all the news, all the crazy stuff happens in America. You guys got drones, you got assassination attempts, you got all these debates going on, like with the elections. Man, you guys got lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff. Let's see here. Let's go through the comments. Let's just take our time, go through the comments, shall we? Let's see here. Johnny, Raptor Watcher. This is the end. 777. All right. Kathy Reitz, Elizabeth, welcome. Taylor, welcome. Tailor Made. I like the channel name. Rob Barber from Ontario, not to be confused with Bob Barber. Also, we have Pamela. How you doing, Pamela? Great to see you. Jennifer, awesome. Yeah, great show last night. It was a great show. We had fun. Welcome, Brenda. Aren't you hearing about Israel being attacked? No, not today. Not today. I did not listen to the news today. I was busy with other stuff. Fill me in. What's going on? Israel's being attacked. Like, is this something majorly? I haven't watched the news tonight, so I know there's been a ruckus going on in the last couple of days, like rumble of Israel being attacked, but I did not know that it was official that they were being attacked. So yeah, maybe I'll check that out later. Let's see. Merry Christmas. Caught most of the show last night. Cool. Can't wait to meet you and pick your brain after all these things are revealed. Yeah, wouldn't it be fun just to meet together like in heaven and just congregate? That'd be fun. Obviously after we get everything else, maybe in 1,000 years or something, maybe we can all get together and congregate, because I'm sure there's lots to do. But it would be fun just to reflect a little bit as to what we were taking guesses at, saying things like the Lord could be coming anytime, all this kind of stuff. And then we're all in heaven. I think that would be a blast. Yeah, Walmart was crazy. Costco was nutso. Do you think a Swan event will happen before Christmas or on it? It feels like I gave a prediction last night. I said, you know what, it wouldn't surprise me if there was some kind of an earthquake, if somebody announced in the news on the West Coast saying that, hey, there was a 7.0 Richter or something like that, scale, like a 7.0 on the Richter scale earthquake, whether off the shore or just on the shore, because this year alone, there was like over 350 earthquakes in the West Coast, at least. And these are like an average of 5.5 on the Richter scale. So I'm actually surprised California is still around. I'm actually surprised, because they've been talking about that fault line that goes all the way up the coast, about that basically just dropping that whole island, and then everything else on the inside would be like beachfront property. Vegas would almost be beachfront property. I don't wish that on anyone. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me, because it seems like every year at Christmas time you wake up and there's some kind of, while you're unwrapping presents or something, there's some kind of catastrophe somewhere in the world. It's either a flood, a hurricane, a tsunami, something happens. And it feels like right now this is I get the idea that there's something going on with Israel. I don't know. I'm totally in the blind today. I was not sticking around watching CNN or NBC or anything like this, but I'm sure I'll be caught up on Rick's channel, because I'm going to be heading over there after I'm done here. So at 6:30. So in about 50 minutes, I'm going to head over to Departure Heaven's channel. I'm going to hang out with Rick for a little while. see what's going on in the world. But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. It feels pretty quiet right now. Feels like the drones, actually, my daughter, I wonder if I could send this. How can I send this? My daughter actually sent me footage yesterday. She lives in Phoenix. So she sent me some footage yesterday. I'm going to see if I could show it to you guys of drones in Phoenix. This is last night. So she sent me, I told her, I said, go out there again, do it tonight, like go record. So this is around the area of Scottsdale, Arizona. Let's see if I can load this up and see if I can play it so that you guys can see this. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm going to play. It's not very long. It's like maybe 20 seconds or so. But this is what she recorded last night. And this was, she was trying not to get me too excited, because she knows I get excited on this kind of crazy stuff. So let me see here. Still processing. Okay, this will just take a second. So take a second. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so I'm going to play this again. This was just last night. My daughter actually recorded this, sent it to me. Can you guys see that? All right, so this was last night in Phoenix, Arizona. So let me just play this. Okay. And what's interesting is my daughter had no idea what was going on in New Jersey. She didn't hear anything about that. They didn't hear anything about what was going on. She just filmed it and she sent it to me and she said, "Look at this, Dad. This is kind of weird in Phoenix." So I was like, "Oh man, that's the drones." And she's like, "Drones?" So I asked her to record some more if she sees anything like that tonight. I asked her to record some of that footage and then send it to me. So they're going to keep an eye on it. So I guess it's happening in Phoenix as well. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, so I don't know, like, a few years ago when I went to Las Vegas, I remember standing outside the airport, and I had to film an auto show. I was working for a fellow. This probably would have been 10, 15 years ago. And basically I was recording his seminar for all these auto mechanics and all this kind of stuff, right? So I got to tour the auto show as well. So I got to stay there. And when we left the airport, you could see planes coming in, just dots of planes, but you knew they were planes. You knew they were planes. There was probably like a dozen planes all lined up and coming in for a landing in Las Vegas. It was crazy, man. I've never seen anything like that. So, yeah, I'll be there, bro. I'll be there. I was just telling everyone that I'm going to jump over onto your channel right after this when this is over. So I'm only going to go for probably another half an hour or so. And then I'll jump on your show, and then hopefully you can catch me up as to what's going on in the world today. So you miss a day, you miss a lot. So yeah, I would encourage you guys to jump over to Departure Heaven. They're starting at 6:30. I think Bob Barber is going to be on there, and perhaps a few others. We'll see. But that should be fun. So that's in about 45 minutes from now. So this is kind of fun because you can actually bounce from channel to channel, especially when they're going live. And then tomorrow is a pre-recorded of Uptime Community Church. And I was invited to that, but I was actually out. And I think they're doing the pre-recording today, I believe, at 3 o'clock. So I think I missed that. I think I missed a pre-recording. I was supposed to go on their show today. Completely forgot about it. Completely. But it's going to be airing tomorrow at 6:30. And there won't be, as far as I know, there's not going to be a Q&A or anything like that. I won't be doing overtime tomorrow night because obviously it's Christmas Eve. I'll be in church as well. So make sure and check out Uptime Community Church tomorrow. That should be fun. Check out Got a Minute with Aaron. He was on last night. He's always got great videos as well. Check out Baba News. I was actually looking over his website and I was reading some of the articles. Some of the articles are actually kind of interesting. So I encourage you to go check out Baba News. End Times Talk with Joshua. He's always got videos going on during the day. Rick usually has something, or Derek usually has something ready to rock and roll on Fridays as well. But what's happening, I think, with some channels, like some people obviously have a life. Some people have a life. They have family. My wife just happens to be at a shower. So that's why I'm able to go on tonight. Normally we would just be chilling. Yeah, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'll head over to Rick's channel. Anything else crazy in the news, like Israel? I know. Let's just see if there's anything on here. Let me just have a quick little look. I know last night, actually maybe I won't. Last night it was a couple nights ago. I played a video and I was talking about Transformers and I was talking about the number of the beast and some of the hints that Hollywood gives us when we're talking about drones and cars and all this. I called it Car Wars. And within probably, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, my video got taken down. So I got a little copyright strike because apparently they didn't like me playing a video clip from Transformers. And what's funny is I've played tons of video clips in the last couple of years, but as soon as I start talking about the number of the beast and all this kind of stuff, right away YouTube shut it down, and people were actually watching the live stream and they're like emailing me, texting me, going, "Hey, I think your video's down." And what I didn't know is later, if I had just taken the trailer down, I could have just kept going with the live stream. It would have been no problem. But because I was reviewing what I was seeing and talking about, and I just let it play, YouTube said, nope, can't do that. That's against fair play and all this kind of stuff. So that's fair. That's fair for fair play. It's rare that I have that happen to me, but I just wanted to be able to talk about the idea of there's a company called Waymo, and this company is set to explode. I think that's going to be the common theme in the next, I give it about 4 or 5 years if we're still here, that it'll just be normal to jump into a vehicle and drive from one city to another, or to drive into town, and then it's just like Uber, except you don't have a driver. I can see that. I could see insurance premiums going through the roof if you have your own vehicle. I did not know that that Trump was in Phoenix. I heard a rumor that Jordan Peterson, one of my favorite guys, actually moved to Phoenix. So I'm going to have to get my peeps to talk to his peeps, and then maybe I can have Jordan Peterson on my channel, because, Canada's so small, we'll probably bump into each other one of these days. Like if I go to Phoenix and Jordan Peterson's in Phoenix. Like, what are the chances of us bumping into each other? I think it's like 1 in 10, something like that, maybe 1 in 6. Like, Phoenix isn't that big. There's not that many people in Phoenix. I'm sure we'll run into each other in a restaurant or something. It's not like there's a lot of restaurants in Phoenix. What else is going on? Let's see here. So Trump's in Phoenix. Isn't it interesting that lots of stuff is happening, and it's kind of neat because my daughter and her husband moved there. I'm like, man, all the action seems to be creeping into Phoenix now. We got drones, and believe me, if I'm there in January, I'm going to be recording stuff at night if I see anything. Because in Canada, there's nothing going on here. Like, do you know how long it took me to put my dog sled away? Like, it took a long time. Have to feed all the dogs. There's like 20 of them. You got to put them all into their little individual sheds, make sure that they're happy. It's not easy running a dog sled show. Like, you got to be driving all over the place. Like, we don't have cars here, in case you guys are wondering about us in Canada. We just use dog sleds. It's so easy. It's so convenient to just get all the dogs together, strap them in, and then off you go to the grocery store. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. All right. So what else is new here? Let's see here. I'm just looking through the comments. Yeah, Phoenix is actually great. Oh, neat. Someone on my channel lives in Phoenix. I wonder how many people watching the show actually live in Phoenix. Trump didn't want to go to Bedminster, New Jersey because of the drones. Looks like the drones followed him to Phoenix. That's it, exactly. That is too funny. Too funny. Can't get away from the drones. Let's see here. What else is going on here? Is there still drones in New Jersey like every night? Is that still a thing? Like, I haven't been following in the last 2 days. Again, the news gets so crazy. If you don't get away from the news, sometimes it'll just overwhelm you. And because I have a pretty heavy reading schedule in the morning and in the evening, there's not a lot of time to watch the news, especially if you're doing a video too every day. Like, if you're spending an hour or two on videos in the evening, there's not a lot of time to watch the news and do your due diligence, do your research, especially if you're diving into the Bible. And I think I'm prepping right now. I'm going through the book of Job right now. Job is a very fascinating book. I've read it, like I mentioned to you guys, 14 times already. I'm on my 15th time going through the book of Job. And I'm just starting to get the idea that his friends aren't giving him sound counsel. Like, they're basically accusing Job of being a liar. They're basically accusing him of being a liar. They're basically saying, look, Job, if you don't understand how this works, if you're wicked, you get smoked by God. If you're righteous, nothing bad will happen to you. These are his friends telling Job this. And Job's like, okay, well, what about the guys that are rich and wicked and live to be like 80, 90, 100 years old? What happened to them? And then they're like, blah, 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 blah. Nothing to say. Nothing to say. Because I think there's still this mentality today that people think that if something bad happens to you, that must be God punishing you. And that's how immature some people are. Sometimes it rains on the righteous and it rains on the unrighteous. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get destroyed together. Just sometimes things happen. It just happens. It doesn't mean that God has got his thumb on you trying to take you out. And I think that's how some people approach when they read the Bible. They look at it like God is up there with a hammer waiting to smash every single person. And that's not true. That's not how he's operating today. Today, we're living in the age of grace. Today, meaning you have the greatest opportunity right now to be a part of something special where there were people looking for this day. going, I wish we could see what you guys are seeing right now. Like right now, as a Christian, our faith is so high right now because we don't see Jesus Christ. This is why we are called blessed, is because we believe when we don't see. It's easier to believe when you have someone with 10 commandments coming down a mountain and you see the whole mountain engulfed in flames. That's easy. That's an easy time to believe. Not so easy when you don't see anything and you're still trying to live right because of what Christ did for you on the cross. I'm not talking about works. I'm not talking about the things you do to get you saved. People mistake that. They always say, it's not by works. It's not by works. So don't do any works. And it's like, well, like James said, if you are in Christ and you believe everything that Christ said, you're going to start to see some fruit from it in your life. If people can't tell the difference between you and someone that hates God, there's a problem there. There's a serious problem. They should be able to tell in seconds when you walk into the room that there's something different about you and how you carry yourself compared to someone else that doesn't know Jesus Christ. And you don't even have to say a word. You don't have to say one single word. That's how it works. When you know Christ and you're plugging into him every single day, your job then is to edify the church, build each other up. And when there's an opportunity, because you've been studying in the dark, not totally dark, but you've been studying with your door closed, nobody can see what you're doing, so that when you're out in public and you're talking to someone and they ask you a question about what church you go to, why you believe what you believe, or whatever, that's your opportunity. You shouldn't even have to think, because the Holy Spirit will just speak for you. That's the beautiful thing about being a Christian. Yeah, so I saw a lot of Waymos in Phoenix, and it's weird. It's actually very weird. Let me see if I have. It's not like you guys haven't seen this before, but let me see if I have. I think I have. I'm just seeing if I have. Yeah, I do, right here. I am going to show. We actually pulled up beside one of those Waymo cars. I'm actually just going to show it to you guys real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is, right here. It's kind of creepy. I will warn you ahead of time, it's kind of creepy. So let me see if I can find it. It's coming. Let me just see, pause for station identification here. Just trying to load this footage. Well, of course, my drive is full. Why is it whenever you need something, that's when your hard drive is full? I knew it. It was teetering on 100% full. That's okay. I'll play in another video. You guys could probably look it up just on YouTube and watch these things, but I'm telling you, they're creepy. Let me see if I can see it here. It freaked me out the first time I saw it. Let's see if you could see this. Can you see this? I don't know if you could see that. It's probably hard to see. There's nobody in there. Can't see it. Oh, yeah. There's nobody in the car. That's what was freaky about it. And my son-in-law said, yeah, there's tons of those. Oh, I have it right here. Here it is. I'll play it in a second. Yeah, let's see here. Just looked at some tombstones, saying things we generally don't believe people would mess with tombstones. Big Swan, I get some people. Let's see what's going on here. Why I keep getting blocked? It's the paranoia. Are you talking about a YouTube channel? Is that why you get blocked? I block people on here if they go crazy, if they say silly stuff. I have no problem punting people. I like practicing kicking field goals with people. Like if they say something dumb, racist, racial, whatever it is, I'll pretty much give you like a warning or a timeout or something like that. But if you're annoying people, then usually I just tee it up and then punt, out you go. It's just some people don't know how to control themselves. They get online, they start getting crazy with their comments, and it's like we had like 6 people on yesterday, and there's like 3 or 4 people I had to kick off because they were just going crazy. It's like a hornet's nest or something. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, now that I have it, let's take a look at this here. So this is when I was in Phoenix. I'll be stopping. Can you see that? Yes. Okay. Let me just make it full screen here so you guys can get a good look. And this was me filming it. I'll be stopping. There you go. There's nobody in there. Oh, yeah. There was somebody in the back seat waving to us. I'll be stopping. There you go. There's nobody in there. Oh, yeah. Crazy, right? It's a crazy world, and this is starting to become the norm where you're going to be seeing more and more people being driven by cars instead of people driving. Like, I thought that was the fun part about driving a car, was actually driving it yourself, not having machines drive you from point A to point B. But I could see the novelty of it for even my son when I was driving my son to go meet up with his girlfriend. We were talking, and my son was basically saying that he could see that would be kind of a normal thing in the next 5 to 10 years. You know, being able to just hop in a car and there's a lot of people like to use their cell phone while they're driving, and it's kind of frowned upon in society to use your cell phone. It's kind of frowned upon. So the idea that you can just jump in the back with a couple of your buddies and then go to a pub, go to a club, go to a football game, and not worry about a designated driver. I could see that being a thing in the future where people are like, yeah, I just don't want to be responsible for driving drunk or anything like that. So instead of me just catching an Uber, it'll just be already programmed into my phone, and I'll just stagger into the car and pour myself in, and it'll be like, take me home. What's funny is My wife's grandfather used to chuck bales out in the farm late at night, and when he was finished, he was so played out that his horse would basically have almost like a hammock, and he would lie in the hammock and he'd basically say to his horses, "Take me home." And they would take him back home. And that's like one generation removed where we used to be on horseback. Now, this is the first generation in thousands of years where children may go their entire lifetime never petting a horse. Can you imagine that? I used to ride horses when I was a kid, teenager. I used to work on a ranch, all this kind of stuff, and I loved horses. Loved horses. I cleaned a lot of manure in barns as well, but we also played a lot of hockey with horse bucks. Not going to lie, we did a lot of that as well. Shoveling the ponds and then finding a few horse pucks, and then off you go and play hockey just like that. But this is the first generation, I believe, where children will not have exposure to a horse, to be able to ride a horse, to be able to pet a horse, or anything like that. It'll be a forgotten thing that used to be a way of life where horses actually pulled you to and from work. Crazy, right? Like that's just like one generation removed. Like we're talking this century. People used to. I remember again. Also, my wife's dad used to be in a school bus that was pulled by a sled of horses, and I think there's probably like maybe 6 kids or something in this thing, and it was like it almost looked like a little. Well, it was like a carriage, basically a small carriage, and they would have a wood stove inside this little carriage, and they would just make sure it's all heated up and everything, and they would get pulled to school. It's so foreign to us now. And now we get machines to pick us up instead of live animals. If that doesn't tell you that we're getting close to the rapture, I don't know what does. I don't know what does. Let's see here. What else do we have? Yeah, horses are awesome. I love horses too. What's interesting is, whether you believe this or not, you could build a strong case that we're all going to get white horses and we're going to ride horses back. Sounds kind of crazy. Sounds like a science fiction movie, but Jesus Christ comes back on a white horse with his armies behind him on white horses as well, plural. So that's kind of interesting. I never really thought about that, but imagine having your own horse. That should give you an idea that there's going to be grazing in heaven. And again, this is probably way above our pay grade to be thinking about heaven. But if you got pasture in heaven, because if you have horses and you have oxygen in heaven, because we know there's smoke and there's fire, and you need oxygen to have smoke and fire. And we also know that there are palm branches being waved by Christians in heaven. So that should tell you that there's also trees growing in heaven. And there's people throwing their crowns 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Jesus' feet. So that should tell you that there's gravity and there's people on their knees. So that should tell you that they have a new spiritual body, a new heavenly body already. We're not waiting for anything. This is all in the book of Revelation. You got horses, you got creatures, you got oxygen, you got a surface that looks like a sea of glass, you got New Jerusalem, like everything is going on in heaven. You actually have people living in heaven. How do we know this? Because the Antichrist basically blasphemes the Lord's temple in heaven and blasphemes his people, cussing them out in heaven. And we know that there are people in heaven actually warning those that live on earth, saying, look out below. That's probably where that saying came from in Revelation, where people in heaven are saying, watch out. The devil just got kicked out of heaven and he is now on earth, meaning he no longer occupies time. He can't manipulate, he can't go back and forth through time anymore. He's stuck, physically stuck on earth. He can't go back to heaven. Remember in Job, God asked him, he didn't say, where did you come from? He said, when did you come from? Meaning the devil goes in and out of time, because you got to understand that when you have the firmament, you have heaven inside the firmament, and then above that is all outside of time. So all you'd have to do is be able to jump out of our timeline, go into heaven, and then come back in another timeline. We can't do that because it's very difficult with our physical body. But if you understand that God is actually outside of time, it begins to make sense when you read Job and you see Satan answer God and say, I was going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it as well. And I'm probably going to make a video talking about that, talking about the carpenters as well. So a lot of people don't know what carpenters mean. They just think it's just somebody that works with wood. Well, Jesus was the greatest carpenter of all time, meaning he restored time back to his Father. Time was restored. We get instances of this in the book of Revelation where there's going to be time no more in regards to earth. We see that heaven and earth will pass away. We see light coming to earth in Genesis. Like there's all these hints that Jesus Christ shows up at the right time. And there's also carpenters that actually come in and out of our history to make sure that things line up properly. That's what the carpenters are for. And as far as we know, there's at least 4 carpenters that are spread out throughout the world that actually keep an eye on the 4 horns that are trying to manipulate God's timeline and trying to stretch it out or slow it down or speed it up or whatever it is. Then you have these carpenters that actually inject themselves into time, and basically it's almost like a river, and they actually make sure everything moves ahead according to plan, according to God's plan. That's all in Zechariah. It's a crazy book, man. It's a crazy book. So that's it for this video. I just want to say hi. I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas. I hope you love on your significant others, love on your children, love on your puppy dogs, all this kind of stuff, because life is short. We're not promised tomorrow. Just so you know this, we're not promised. I'm not promised tomorrow. You're not promised tomorrow. So what we need to do is spend every day like this is our last day. So I am going to take a 10-minute break, and then I am going to jump onto Departure Heaven with Rick. And I hope you guys will grab yourself a cup of coffee and strap in. It's going to be a fun show. And we're going to move over to that channel. We're going to move over to Departure Heaven. And if you don't know what that channel looks like or anything, let me just bring it up real quick here. Let me just bring it up real quick, and I'll show you guys what the channel looks like. Let's see here. This is... So right here, this is Rick's channel. Boom. There it is right there. So I'm going to be jumping on this channel in about 20 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of a break and then go on there. You can see how many people are on. He's got about 4,000 subscribers right now. 12 people are waiting. If you guys go over there, again, he's starting at 6:30. So in about 18 minutes. 18 minutes. So go check out his channel. He's got some pretty good stuff going on there. I'm telling you, His channel is blowing up. So go check it out. I hope to see you guys over there in a few minutes. Like I said, I'm just going to go make myself a pot of coffee. And yes, so 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And I'll see you guys over there. Take care for now, and I will see you guys shortly. Ciao for now. Where's my music? Cue the music. It's coming. Here it comes. Here it comes. All right. See you guys on the other side.